Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela. I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady and welcome back to this week's Whips, Bits and Chat. It's number 155. Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. Right, okay, I can't remember if I added that in the titles or not. Right, so first up today, we of course have got the video update. So this is for all the videos I managed to get out this week. I'm impressed with myself and that's all I'm going to say. Right, okay, so first one up was the Little Bird C2C tutorial. It was video number 2. It's rows number 20 to finish is how I've titled it. And I believe that takes you up to the end of the square, which is the bird behind me. Now remember, there is also a written pattern over on Ravelry for that one, where it gives you the row by row box counts that you need, and it does make it a lot simpler to be able to just print out those couple of pages and then mark the squares off as you go, rather than having to sit there, listen to my voice all the way through and jot them all down and hopefully get them in the right order. But yeah, either way you want to do it is fine by me. Just remember to send in the photographs at the end of each section so that I can show off your work. The next video up was Moo's Flower Pow Cow. Are you in the know? So of course this is a video all about our little crafty Moo Sarah and how she is doing a cow for the whole of the year, running from May this year to May next year. Where you get to choose the patterns you want to work. All you need to do is make sure that you do a flower related pattern each month and send her in an image. That video gives you a little bit more detail, and of course there is links on that video to Sarah's videos where she discusses it in a lot more detail than what I've just done. Okay, the next video up was the book review, and it was the Granny Squares by Susan Pinner. Okay, so that's a cute little book, so have a nose if you haven't already. All the links to all 3 of those videos will of course be in the I button above and in the description box down below. So now is time for a little shout out, and that of course is to my channel subscribers. There's a couple of you now and I'm thoroughly enjoying having you popping in and saying hello a lot more regularly and hitting that little star by your name. Okay, so we've got our gorgeous Sunflower Creative, then we've got our cheeky Dinky Crafts Jennifer, we've got Linda's Design Rita, OM Granny Square, Judy Hook, Silver Wings Crochets, and Kerry the Yarny Elephant. So a welcome in to all you girls who are new, and of course the ones that have been here a little bit longer. Now of course my channel subscription's only been open for coming up on 3 months, and I'm not mega pushing it. If you would like to join, please watch the video that is attached. There is a little button down below that sort of says become a channel member, and if you click on that you see my face. I explain what perks you get for each one. Now please remember, if you have signed up for the Asylum members, which is the top tier, please make sure that you pop on to the community tab, and in there is a post that is meant to be just for you. I say that because I mucked up last month, but this month there is a post there that is just for you that gives you a code word to use over on Ravelry so that you can get your copy of this pattern for free. Okay, so that is only available for the Asylum members. The outpatients and the inpatients, you've got your stickers and your other bits and pieces, which of course I explain about there because I can't remember what I said. I have to watch that video every month to make sure I'm doing it correctly. I'll probably remember by this time next year, I hope, and by then I'll have probably changed it up anyway. But again, thank you ever so much for being a channel member. It is really, really appreciated. Now, as you all know, I went to a wedding last weekend, so although I had my whips, bits and chat go up, I wasn't able to really comment until Monday evening when I got back and had slightly sobered up. No, I wasn't actually drinking a great deal. I had a couple of drinks after my painkillers had stopped working and I was safe to take to drink because I don't like to mix alcohol and medications. So the bar staff were quite shocked because yes, I had a couple of alcoholic drinks, but then I went on to my favourite, tap water. Literally go up to any bar here in the UK, and if you ask them for a tap water, they have to give it to you by law, and they can't charge you for it. If you ask for water alone, they will give you 9 out of 10 times a bottle of water, which means they charge. So a couple of the younger people at the wedding, sort of the young teens that weren't quite old enough to drink, were only allowed, of course, their fizzies, so the lemonade or the Coca-Cola, but they didn't like the prices that they were getting charged, and they saw me just get a drink and not hand over any cash. So one of my adopted nephews goes, "How do you get that drink for free, Ange?" And I said, "It's tap water, darling. Ask the bar staff for tap water and they won't charge you because they can't." Well, near the end of the night, about half hour before the bar closed, I've said to the barman, "Can I have a tap water?" He's gone, "I thought you'd be the only one at this party to ask because I noticed that you wasn't drinking. I'm assuming you're duty driver." And I was like, "Yeah, pretty much I would be if I wasn't falling apart." And I sort of laugh about it. He goes, "We've never had so many people at a party ask for tap water." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, there's at least 10 people here in all the age groups." He's gone, walk up and just go, "Can I have tap water, please?" He was shocked. So yeah, their profits might have been down a little bit, but hey ho. At least I know I had some sober company that night, excluding, of course, the children that were not allowed to drink. The wedding itself was absolutely stunning. If I tell you about the people that were invited first, it was pretty much a family. And like to the wedding itself, it was just family. Now we've it was my best mate's son's wedding, and we've been friends with them. They were her husband was our best man at our wedding. My husband was his best man. So you can imagine how tight of a family bond we've got. We've both were military families. We both moved around here, there and everywhere, but managed to stay in touch. And then when I moved to Wales and we bought a property and lived there for a few years, they bought a property in the next road. So we have always been really close, which is why the children call us auntie and uncle. But we were the only guests that were not related that were invited to the wedding. So we felt really privileged, really. But to be honest, the rest of the family all see us as an extension anyway, so it was absolutely lovely. And then the bride's family just amalgamated into the group so beautifully. Although we hadn't met all of them, I certainly hadn't actually met any of her family, not even her mum and dad. Her mum just walked in and said, "I'm the other mum." I went, "I'm the adopted auntie," and she knew who I was because of course my best mate had said that we were coming. And that was it. When it came to being on the dance floor, everybody danced with everybody, all ages danced together. You literally just grabbed the person next to you, dragged them up and started dancing, whether you'd spoken to them or not. It was beautiful. The wedding service itself was absolutely gorgeous. It was filled with laughter and giggles and missed words, which were to be expected. bride was absolutely stunning. The gorgeous groom, I have to call him that because hey, he's my adopted nephew, but my gorgeous groom looked absolutely beautiful in his uniform, because he's in the Navy. So he was wearing his naval uniforms, which of course meant that he got a lot of Mickey taken out of him by my husband and his dad, who were army. So there's always been sort of banter backwards and forwards there. The cake had been made by one of the nans, and it was stunning. And it was a sponge cake, or at least the tiers I got to eat were the sponge cake, and one was chocolate and one was lemon. And oh my gosh, I could have sat there and ate the entire cake. So the cake was on guard from me. I was only allowed me 2 bits, which is actually more than most people actually ate. And then the following morning I had a takeaway box of cake for my daughter that lives with us. And my husband took a photograph of the takeaway cake and sent it to her, so there was no way I could sneak a bit of cake on the drive home. Now for me and my family have drama weddings. It's like an episode of EastEnders. So to go to this wedding and see the complete difference between this type of weddings my family have with the drama, and this wedding was it was so different and so lovely. And I just hope that they do a remarry, like they get remarried again in a couple of years time, like a renewal of vows or something, so that the whole group can meet up again. But saying that, we probably will be at a barbecue at some point. Normally when I go to a wedding, I'm hiding behind a camera of some sort, whether it be my big doozy camera that's over there, or whether it's my phone camera. I'm normally the one that takes too many photographs, and I hide behind the camera, and I don't, because I know I'm not enjoying the time at the wedding. In this case, I only took 3 photos. No, sorry, that's a lie. I took 5 photos in the whole wedding. 5 photos, a couple of videos of like their first dance and them cutting the cake, but other than that I only took 5 photos. For me, that's unheard of. When I told Bestie I've only got 5 photos, she was like, pardon? I don't believe you. But yeah, I only took 5. So I'm only going to show 2 of them now. And I need to also ask the bride and groom if it is okay for me to show them on camera. So I'll do that. If that's allowed, that photo will also be included. But yeah, there's literally no extra videos or anything that I'll be adding in today, apart from what I can show you now. And there was only one issue with the entire wedding, and that was where they stuck Auntie at the end of the night. We'd paid for the hotel room in the area where the wedding was. The bride and groom had no control on allocation. Okay, so they had no say on where we were put. But we were put in this absolutely beautiful room. There was one issue. Where do you not put decrepit Auntie? On the top of a hill. That was it. So of course at the end of the night I'm having to climb up these steps. I could have tried the slope, but there was absolutely no chance of getting up there. I'll show you a photo in a moment. I ended up having to hang on to the railings and pull myself up the stairs, because our room was the one right at the top, and the photograph that I took is not actually at the appropriate angle to show the steepness of this hill. I took it so I could get all of the rooms in. But yeah, that was the only bad point, was having to climb up those stairs to get to bed. Now, here's the answer to the question: did I actually get around to finishing that shawl that I was making last week? Now, of course, the Whips, Bits and Chat I actually had recorded on the Wednesday to ensure that it was squished together properly, uploaded, and everything was okay for YouTube. So it was recorded on the Wednesday, and I think I was only up to row 8 or something. It was a very short amount of the chaining, and then of course the other stitches. Well, did I finish it? Did you put your bets in? What day did you guess? Tell me down below if you got close. Okay, so crocheting away, pulling some late nights, crocheting all day, apart from when I had to get up, go to the toilet or get some food. And hubby knew how important it was, so bless him, he was cooking dinners and doing other bits and pieces around the house so I could just keep going. Well, I did it. I managed it. I actually finished it Thursday morning. So there you go. It was finished Thursday morning. And here it is. Now, I think I might have been a bit too tight on my stitch work because, of course, I was playing with cotton and I'm not really used to working with cotton. So it may be a little bit shorter in width, sorry, than what the pictures show, but I think it was shown on as somebody that was like 5'4" or something. So of course I've got a smaller back. But here it is. That is just a small section because it's that long. Oh crikey, I'm overstretching. My back went crack and everything there. So here it is. That's what it looks like. Now, I didn't actually manage to get to the shop to get any spray starch, but I did pop it in the wash on a 30 degree in its little bag. And when it came out, I laid it out on a towel, popped another towel over the top, and then got my iron on it. So I laid out each of the flowers how I wanted them to sit and had the towel out on the floor. Dog was in the garden and I was just there applying as much, well, basically quite a chunk of weight. It's a miracle I didn't break the iron because I was pushing down on it so hard. It left imprints on the carpet. Not horrible ones, there was no burn marks or anything like that, but I'd put so much pressure in I could actually put the next layer of flowers along. But I took it with me, and when I put the dress on and tried to get the shawl to look how it did in the pictures, I just couldn't do it. And I couldn't just have it sitting over my back and then draping over my arms because it was so long. So I didn't end up using it. After all that work, I didn't end up using it. So because it's not been used, I'm going to be packaging it up and selling it on. So if it's something you like the look of, I'll pop a message down below or find me over an email. Remember though, if you're outside of the UK, postage is going to go through the roof, so it may not be worth you purchasing it. But of course I will send you the details of where to get the pattern so you can make it yourself, because I'm evil like that. I love you, I do, but I am evil. And so of course Thursday I'm sitting there and I've got all this time arranged for crocheting that I didn't end up using. And I'd already been I popped out because I dropped the kid off to school. I popped to the shop to choose a pair of shoes. Now I'd found two that I liked, but I was undecided which one I was going to go for, whether it was going to be a sparkly number or a plain brown. It was like a brown with bow detail. And the other one was sparkly silver with the glitter that was coming off in my hands. Right, but they were the two that I'd found. So I popped back to the shop and I'm like, do you know what, I'm gonna get the silver ones. I'm not gonna go normal, because normal for me is black and quite subtle. No, I'm partying, I'm gonna get the glittery ones. So I walk in, someone's bought the only ones they had in my size. I was like, the brown ones it is then. So out I've come with my brown ones, happy as anything, come home. And I'm thinking, right, so I've got my brown spotty dress, I've got my brown shoes, but they had no handbags that were brown in the shop. And I was like, I'm not going here, there and everywhere. I haven't got the energy to do that. So I come home and I'm thinking, okay, what have I got? Well, I've got my Australia bag, which is like a little square one, or oblongy, but it's very little. It would hold everything I needed, but it wasn't dressy enough. wasn't suitable for a wedding. It's an everyday handbag. So I got on YouTube, didn't I? I came in here, I grabbed some brown yarn, and I went back in and I found a pattern on YouTube by a lovely creator who I hadn't come across before. And so I was a bit cheeky. She does say in her video to pop the subtitles on, so that's what I did actually do. I think she's from South Africa or somewhere like that, so her accent was quite new to me, so I was not struggling, but I was finding it difficult to pick up the different bits of information that I needed with the first watch of the video. If I'd watched it through a couple of times, then I would have got used to her accent and I would have been fine. But I wanted to get going and I wanted to get done, so I just started, and with the use of the subtitles and everything, it was really easy and really lovely to follow. So sorry, I'm just moving something. Yeah, so I start crocheting this handbag, and my husband comes in, he goes, "What on earth are you making now?" I said, "Handbag." And he's like, "Babe, you haven't got time for a handbag." I said, "I have got time for a handbag. I will do it." And he's like, "Are you really sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get it done. It's all single crochets," and he knows what I'm like, and I'm like, "It's all single crochets for this section." It's like, "But single crochets take the longest, don't they?" And I'm like, "Yes, you're learning." And so there I am, crocheting up the rows upon rows of single crochet, no stitch markers at each end, because I was like, "Ooh, I can do this. It's still a straight line and I haven't missed any stitches." My brain was actually in gear. So I've done this first section and then gone back to the video, and she says, "Do it again." So I had to scoot all the way back to the beginning to find out what the chain number was to start again. But I did that, let it play through again to the point where I could just stop it again. And then I worked on to the next section. Now the next section are stitches that some of you will know I don't like. Okay, they are bobble stitches, and this pattern had bobble stitches, so I rewarded myself because after each row of bobble stitches there was a row of single crochet. So I would do the bobble stitches and then cheer as I quickly did the row of single crochet, and then back to the bobble, back to the single crochet. Now I'd done about 3 rows and realized that actually for me personally, the bobble stitch as it was in the one colour was plain and boring, and it wasn't fancy enough. So I came back in here and I grabbed some white yarn and stripped back a row of the bobbles, and then started putting white bobbles in. And you're like, white bobbles, really? Brown and white? What type of pattern did I use? I did not go a solid stripe each row. I'm just going to now show you the handbag. It's got to be easier, because then at least if I'm holding it you can see it, right? But I also did nick the straps off of my Australian handbag because it was brown and they matched my shoes. So I've got a handbag. Here it is. Oops, it's been used, but yeah, here is the handbag that I used, that I made. Now when it came to finishing it off, of course I meant to be adding more stability into the bag by adding wadding and all of that, but of course it's Friday, we're traveling Saturday, there is absolutely no chance of me being able to do that, but I will be adding that in at a later point. But I have managed to Blue Peter, that's what I'm going to say. I Blue Petered the inside so it stayed stable throughout, as you can hear. And how did I do that? I went in the kitchen, I raided the cupboards, and I pulled out a fruit and nut box and cut it down to size. My husband said I really should have covered it with some sort of material, and I'm like, no, because of course the family all know I'm nutty. So I thought, well, if there was going to be any drama, I could just sort of turn around to Bestie and go, "Oh, look at the inside of my bag," and that would have made her laugh. Actually, it made her laugh, it made her mum laugh, it made the bride and groom laugh, it made everybody laugh. Because it was like, well, she is loopy and she'll finish it off, but it looks lovely from the outside. So yeah, it's fruit and nut there. And all I've done is I've pierced around the top of it, and then I've threaded through some brown through both layers just to hold it on. I've just weaved it on. It's not on tight, so it means that I can just cut it out and remove it for when it comes to replacing it and putting a proper proper insert in to make sure it stays solid. But yeah, so as I was working the bobble stitch, I would do one row of solid brown, and then every other bobble on the next row was white, and then the next row up, would be a solid brown, and then I staggered where I joined the white. So if I started the row on a white, the next row that had white would be 2 bobbles along, would be the second bobble. So that then gave me my bobbly diagonal stripes, or my diamond pattern, depending on what you want to call it. So there we go, that's the back. Now this has been joined as per the pattern. Okay, so the back has been joined as the pattern. The whole thing was joined as the pattern said, but I didn't like this edging here for the main part. So what I actually did was I jumped over to Sabrina Melliger, who has got a new pattern out, or has a new tutorial out at the moment, showing us how to do the crab stitch back and front, or back and forwards, or something it's called. I'll pop a link in the description box down below. Which basically means that when you're doing the crab stitch, instead of going backwards on yourself, you actually go forwards and you twist the hook around to create the stitch, rather than any other, like the other method that I've known and I've done previously. But I wanted to try that method because I thought, well, if it's quicker, then brill. By the time I got to the end, it was quicker, but at the start it was a lot harder, because of course it is a new method, so I had to get my brain around it. But what I've actually done is I've done the crab stitch all the way around the front section here, okay, and carried on going all the way around the top edging of the bag as well. So it goes all of the way around. So I only had to join the yarn the once and just do it all the way around to make sure that that section, of course, was stable as well. Don't get me wrong, the original pattern does make it stable, but she has done it so that you are putting an insert in, which of course gives it more stability, and this didn't have it until the cardboard box was added. But yep, there's the handbag with the strap that I've just attached for now. It will have to go back on my Australia bag for when I use it again. And I will finish it off properly at some point. We know what I'm like, so it'll probably get done next year. But I'm super chuffed with it, and I did get some absolutely beautiful comments from the family saying how they liked it, and they didn't realise crochet could look so pretty, because of course quite a lot of them don't crochet, so they only know sort of granny squares, blankets and things like that, the simpler patterns. They hadn't seen stuff that could look like it was shop bought, and some of them did say that looks shop bought. I said, well, if you ever buy something like that from one of the shops around here, no, it's come from a sweatshop. So of course I had to explain there's no such thing as a crochet machine. Now it's time for a cheeky reminder. If you like the look of the Jackie Jumps jumper and you are intending to make it, the pattern is available now over on Ravelry with a 25% discount until the end of the month. All you need to do is write the word jump into the discount code box in Ravelry when it comes to checkout, for you to then be able to receive your 25% off. Now the pattern not only contains how to do the stitches and of course directions on how to make it, it also contains video links, so that if you're struggling at any point, or you just want to listen to my annoying voice as you crochet your jumper, you can do by clicking on those hyperlinks and having them bring you over to YouTube. Now it's time for the besties bit. It's your photographs. Now last week Sabrina Melliger got in on time for last week's Spits and Chat. If I'd have been recording it on a Friday, she sent them to me on Thursday, and I said to her, I'm really sorry, I've already made last week's video, but don't panic, they'll be coming into this video. So come on, and let's have a look at what Sabrina has made. I absolutely love the bag. What a brilliant make to do with, of course, the little bird square. I love how it's turned out, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But she didn't just stop there. She also sent in photographs of another make that she has done, which is using some of the yarn that she has purchased from me. So come on, and let's have a look at this. That is absolutely stunning, Sabrina. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, that is actually a knitted pattern. Can you believe it? Knitting. I'm not used to knitting, remember. I don't really do it. But the pattern itself is absolutely beautiful. Now, the colour that she used that was mine was the Coral Kisses. And this was a colourway that she had asked me to make for her. I will pop a link either up the top if I have room, or of course there will be a link down below to the video where I dyed that yarn for you, for her I should say. And she has teamed that up with another yarn of a darker colour, which of course has made the floral pattern pop out so much. It's absolutely stunning. Sorry, I'm sitting here staring at the image. I might have to take the image off screen so that I can talk about it properly. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Now, this does also mean that Sabrina's been lifted from her yarn ban, which I put on during a live once because she was like, I really like this. And I'm like, you've already got 3 colourways to play with, girl. So yeah, the fake yarn ban that she was on from me has now been lifted because she has completed one of her projects. She does have another one on the go at the moment, which is a shawl, and she's shown it a few times on a couple of her videos. I will pop a link down below so you can have a sneak peek at the next item that she will show us. It is a reversible shawl, and I am loving that one. The colours are popping out amazingly on it, and just like they were on the photographs that I showed you a few moments ago. So fingers crossed, in a month or so she might have another photograph of another gorgeous pattern that she has created using some of the yarns off of the wall behind me. Well, it didn't quite make it to the wall because she bought them before they got there. Now, of course, if you've chosen to change colours on the bird, which is absolutely fine, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing different colour variations of the pattern, but you've done it and you don't want to show me the colours yet, turn the project into black and white, or of course just show me the first few rows like here to show that you've started it. That'll do as a photo. I really don't mind how the photos come in and really how you've changed it around so that you can't show off the colours until your final reveal at the end of the cow. So what I'm now going to be doing is showing any of the little bird parts that have been completed. There will be details of who's made it, but hopefully if they've added them for me, what yarn they've also chosen to use, and that will be alongside the photographs. So come on, and let's have a look at who's joining in. Now the next photo up is from our gorgeous Aragurumi Ninja. Of course, she was lucky enough to win a copy of the written pattern for Little Bird, but she's also running it alongside the video, just in case she needs any cheeky tips and tricks as we're going along. Now, she didn't worry about sending me a photograph for her completed cushion cover up to row 20 because she got carried away. She did, and she jumped straight on to video number 2 that of course came out this last week. And so I got a photograph of her completed front panel of her Little Bird pillow, and she's also sent me an image of what the back looks like as well, but I'm not showing you that one today. I'll show you that next week so I'm not spoiling what the back looks like. Yeah, so come on and let's have a nose at the photographs that she has sent over of her Little Bird front panel. my gosh, don't those colours look wicked? It's really nice actually seeing the colours changed up from the basic blue and pink that I did. Absolutely love it. It looks stunning, Ninja, and as you know, I've said that to you in private chat because hey, we know what I'm like. I chat away and chat away and chat away. But yeah, so that gives you a little idea of another colour combination that you could use for this particular pattern, whereas of course you can play with whatever colour you like. I don't mind. Just remember to send me in those photos so I can have a look and I can share with everybody else. Now, also remember, if you don't want your photos shared, just say do not share on your email and then I will correspond with you as normal. But I still want to see it. And that's the same for any project that you've made using one of my tutorials. If you've changed it up and you don't think I like it, send it anyway, because I'm back crazy, and normally the crazier the colour choices, the more I seem to like it. Right, that's everything I've got for you for today. Thank you ever so much for joining and watching all the way through to the end. Please remember to give a thumbs up and pop a comment in the comment section down below. And of course, I will catch up with you there and have a little chat with you. Right, I'm going to head off now. I will see you all really, really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting. Goodbye, everybody.